I bought my first house in Charleston, South Carolina when I was 24 years old. In 1986, I paid $45,000 for this three-bedroom, two-bath house. In reality, it only had a one-car garage, and they converted the other garage into like a sunken living room with a wood-burning stove. Perfect bachelor pad. And I was in the military making about $1,300 a month. I took it on as I assumed the people's mortgage, and they carried a second mortgage. So I paid them back. And where did I get the money to buy the house? Since I was in the military making $1,300 a month, it was my third assignment. And when I was in London, I rented rooms in a rental house that the military was paying for me to keep. So I had $20,000 in the bank. And that's how I bought this house. And I had rental income for 26 years. Of course, I lived in it for 2 years. And after 28 years of owning the house, I sold the house. And with that money, that was my first house I ever bought. I bought house number 15 because my daughter was going to college and she needed a place to live because I wasn't going to pay $6,000 a month to live in a college dorm. It just makes sense to buy another property. But my wife and I are pretty handy, and we do a lot of the work ourselves. And what we can't handle, we'll contract out. Like if you see the tile flooring in that first house in Charleston, South Carolina, wife did all that. She took the walls out, or we worked both together. And anything we really can't handle, we'll subcontract out. And we converted it back to a two-car garage. And then we bought the house in Chapel Hill, South Carolina. It was a townhouse for my daughter. And again, we totally revamped that place. That was a short sale. I guess the lady died, and again, we had cash. We paid $105,000 for that townhouse in North Carolina. Now, remember the South Carolina house? I paid $45,000 for it. I I lived in it for 2 years. I rented it for 26 years, then totally renovated it and sold it for $117,000. And with that money, I bought house number 15, which was that townhouse. I paid cash on a short sale. And then we totally gutted that house. And of course, the wife did a lot of the tile work. We paid for someone to put in the hardwood floors. We painted it. We probably replaced everything in that house. And my daughter, how'd she pay for that? Pay for college? She rented rooms in the townhouse. We had a pretty good deal going where we mainly dealt with females from foreign countries. So she had roommates from Spain, Italy, Taiwan. Uh, I say Spain, that was a doctor. Mostly all professional ladies going to Chapel Hill. Of course, my daughter was in the medical field also. She spent 7 years there getting her PhD, and that's how she paid for college by renting the rooms. Of course, I was pumping money into her too, and I'd pay all the bills. I'd pay her credit card, and of course, she always had jobs. But and she also helped renovate that property, so she had some buy-in on it too. But we paid $105,000 on a short sale, and that was the 15th property I ever bought from selling the first property I bought. And we did quite well there because my daughter saved a lot of money. She was a good person. All she did was go to school, and work on education, and the people renting the rooms helped pay for it. Plus, put money in her pocket. Plus, she had jobs, and it worked out. Now we had that property for 6 years, and then we sold that because she finished college and she's getting her first job in Colorado. So we paid $105,000 for that property. 6 years, we sold it for $320,000. So remember, the first house, 45,000. 28 years later, we got 117. We bought the townhouse in North Carolina for 105. 7 years later, we sold it for 320,000. And we took that money and we bought a house in Colorado. So that 320,000 plus we tapped into a 401k, and that house was 460,000 because that was at the height of the real estate bubble and bidding wars. But if you think about it, my daughter spent the first year there. I think she rented a house for $1,400 a month. And you just think $1,400 is 1,400 a month is 14,000, about 18,000 dollars a year in just paying rent, and you're at the mercy of them jacking up the rents. And this house on top of a mountain, beautiful views. And it's location, location, location. And so we paid cash for that house in Colorado by tapping into the 401k because now we're a bit older. And that was house number 17 we bought. So sold the first one. And the current value of that house now in Colorado is it's over $500,000 value. So that's not bad. She's doing quite well. Now the first house I paid $45,000 in 2024 dollars. The house is now worth $280,000. I sold it for $117 in 2014. So 10 years later, it's gone up even more. That townhouse in North Carolina, bought it for $105 in 2014.